I'm not a supporter at all of any Australian political party. There's good reason to do that. You can't trust them. Nonetheless, I am a supporter of what is the truth in the case of the subs and Macron and Mr. Morrison, Prime Minister. Prime Minister was exactly right in cancelling the subs because right from the very beginning, everyone knew in Australia, with half a working brain, they were totally unsuitable when it comes to what we need as defence into the future. It was going to take, right from the beginning, it was obvious, there's something wrong and dodgy about the deal. It's going to take till 2035 to deliver diesel-powered subs when, at the same time, France, which is a hypocrite, is right at the forefront there pushing the global warming theory, yet it's the same time Macron's saying you should buy these diesel subs. Now, if Macron was a statesman, which he is not, he just seems to have a little temper tantrum and wants to be something that he can't be because he's not, as I said, he's not statesman enough to be what he ought to really be, to be a real leader. And admit openly that the sub deal to start with between Australia and France was wrong. Many of us knew at the time it was going. We advocated Australia needs to have nuclear submarines that can spend a long time underwater without having to refuel. It made no sense whatsoever in the beginning to order these subs. And it's no matter the ALP or anyone else castigating Scot Morrison that they're unable to admit the basic truth that the sub deal was wrong in the first place. There's something wrong with them. There's no proof that Mr. Morrison has lied whatsoever, but there's plenty of proof that the deal in the original deal about the subs was categorically irresponsible and going to be a great waste of billions of dollars when they're never going to be they're going to be finished in a long time. And then that sub, delivered in 2035, would rely on diesel up till eternity. I don't know how long subs are supposed to last. But they're supposed to rely on diesel then, a fossil fuel, to power itself. So all these Greens and all the Labour Party and everyone going at Morrison, going about climate change and they're the leaders in this, are total hypocrites like Mr. Macron. Because they're saying all this about cutting down on fossil fuels and they're pushing a submarine what uses an enormous amount of fossil fuel and polluting the oceans and the sea and the air and the atmosphere as it transports carbon dioxide across the world when it's doing its surveillance. It doesn't matter who's lied or not. The thing is, Mr. Macron has made a grave error because he looks foolish. No matter how he tries to paint himself, he looks foolish and dishonest because he has a hypocrite, and he knows that sub deal, although it may have cost France loss of face or loss of income or whatever and all those things, fair enough to just say that. Just say the truth. We lost the cost of income. We had these jobs. Whatever. That's the truth. That's the truth. And we agree with no more diesel subs because we're against fossil fuels. Obviously, a nuclear-powered electric sub is the way to go because electric cars and electric everything is the way to go for transport or across the spectrum of transport to cut down on global emissions. The whole thing shows that the left, and I don't know if Macron, who's a Rothschild, can be called to be on the left. That's a very odd thing to do, to be called on the left when you... Anyway, all these people on the left are all totally against fossil fuel, want net zero by 250, are pushing now, are arguing they should have been kept, the sub deal should have kept going, and that we should have diesel subs, what would have been totally a waste of time and redundant time they got them. Where would Australia get the diesel from? We rely on diesel, would have been imported from Singapore. You've got to rely on someone else's importing your fuels for your defence systems. Not only are these people, let's not say a word, dishonest, let's just say they lack vision. They're small-minded people who have an inability to join the dots by what they're saying in one hand and what they're saying on the other hand. It's like they are all got a bipolar disorder. One minute you're saying we want to cut back on fossil fuels. Oh no, Mr. Morrison stops doing that, goes towards net zero with a nuclear submarine, and suddenly that's wrong. The same people in Australia who are all for going for net zero are told also suspiciously against nuclear power, which is the only way you can generate enough baseload power to run 17 million motor cars if you're going to replace a fleet of motor cars from fossil fuel to electric vehicles. It's absurd, actually. Now, I don't support no way that I support any political party. All I do is support the truth anyway, as an essence of being. Well, we make out what you like, make out that what you like, but nonetheless, Macron was wrong in the way he dealt with it. He wants to make out as a leader. He's not a leader. He's a follower of orders of someone, of followers his impulses, and he's not a very good politician, and he's a terrible statesman to be bagging some people because we can punish Australia now because it's a small fry. But you've got to crawl to China and crawl to Russia and crawl to everyone else. That makes you a great Frenchman. I don't think so. Macron is letting French down now really, really badly by looking like very small in front of the world. Whether he likes it or not, the world sees the truth.